Deiu Sanh remembered the night well, the night when it had truly begun. It was August 1996. His wife Deiu had complained of a sore head and had retired to bed early. He was awakened in the early morning by her moans and violent convulsions. By the time it stopped, she was paralyzed down the right side of her body. He rushed to the Buddhist temple on the far side of the village. They chanted prayers and mantras for 2 days, but Deiu's condition remained the same. And then Christians arrived from another village, further west, far from the Hanoi region. They preached about a God named Jesus and asked if anyone in the village needed prayer. They knocked on Deiu Sanh's door, wanting to pray over his wife. He didn't understand this religion or who this Jesus was, but he led them to her, and they surrounded her bed and prayed. They prayed strange prayers, thanking Jesus for already healing Deiu through the power of his blood. 3 days later, she was completely healed. Deiu Sanh and Deiu sought out the Christians, asking about Jesus. They gave their lives to him. Deiu Sanh felt the call to preach the gospel to the hundreds of villages in his region. He had no idea how to begin, so he just went to the market and preached. At first he was ignored, but driven by his passion for Jesus and Jesus' passion for the lost, he persevered and began to attract an audience.
One night, 2 police officers knocked on my door. They had received complaints about my preaching. I asked who had complained. They were Buddhist followers, and some of them were members of my own family. I said, I am doing no harm. There is no law against following another religion. Surely I can preach. They told me that if I continued, they'd put me in jail. I stood at my usual spot, proclaiming the name above all names, placing New Testaments into people's hands as they passed by. Then I saw the police van come around the corner, and my heart sank. After a night in a cold cell, they interrogated me. Why are you doing this, they said. You've been a Buddhist all your life. They offered to release me if I agreed to stop preaching. I could not agree to this. They threw me back in the cell and kept me there for a week. I worried about my family, but could not agree to their demands. I prayed. On the 9th day they released me, with a warning not to preach. I talked it through with Deiu, and we prayed. We felt the Lord telling me to continue. Over the next 13 years, I was regularly imprisoned for preaching the word. I could have had complete freedom any time by renouncing my faith, but it was impossible for me to stop proclaiming him. One afternoon, my prayers were interrupted by the prison guard. He told me that the warden wanted to see me. As I walked to the warden's office, I prayed. Sit down, he said. You have been in this place a long time. You have not been an easy prisoner. The rules do not apply to you, apparently. If you are released, he said to me, will you go back to your Christian preaching? I had been imprisoned in this place for almost a year. I was desperate to be with my family, but I could not deny my Lord. So I said, I will preach Jesus, yes. The warden then reached for a piece of paper in the drawer of his desk. It was a certificate, a license to preach without hindrance. I could not believe my eyes. In Hanoi, I asked. No, said the warden. In all Vietnam.
Suddenly, after many years of trying to bring the gospel to his own village, the whole of Vietnam had become his mission field. Since joining Big Life in 2011, Deiu Sanh has planted 53 churches and is just getting started.